So first thing you probably notice about tcpdump data is that there's a lot of details here. What is all this options, SAC stuff? We're not going to look at that in this course. So I'm going to wave my magic wand and make it go away. I know it's kind of silly to say, but don't panic about the fact that this output probably looks like a big pile of weird. Some parts of it may jump out at you as already saying something, and if not right now, maybe by the end of this video. So there are some things in here you might already recognize. If you're using your own data, you'll see your machine's IP address here. Here's mine. Notice that just as we saw with ping, sometimes it shows up to the left of this little angle bracket, and sometimes it shows up to the right. That's because some of these packets are going from our machine to example.net, and some of them are coming back. Likewise, here's the IP address for example.net. If you want to check that, you can use the host command to look it up in the DNS. Now let's look at something that differs across these packets. At the end of each record, there's a length field. That's telling us how much data was sent in that packet. That's just the payload, the actual HTTP data, as opposed to all the TCP overhead like addresses and port numbers and such. So the interesting thing here is that out of all of these packets, only a few of them even have any payload data. For most of them, the length value is 0. This is an important fact about TCP. Even before the client and server get to exchange any real data, they've got some setup to do to bring up the connection. And after they're done with their real data, they have some teardown to do. So looking at the first of these that has any real data, it says length 38, and the only other one has length 321. Well, where did those numbers come from? Well, let's look back at what data we actually sent. Here's our HTTP request. And if you count these new line characters at the end of each line as only one, because the backslash doesn't really count, it's going to come out to exactly 38 bytes. Which means that this record in the tcpdump data exactly represents the transmission of the HTTP request from our client to the example.net server.